Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BizzTalk Africa. I'm your host, Jason Schuster from BizzTech, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Vidya Mike. How are you, Vidi?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. And you're calling in not from London today. Where are you calling in from?
It's Dubai.
Dubai. Okay, excellent. Very fun. I really hope to get there someday. It seems like a really cool place.
You know what?
So
Stunning. It is
stunning.
truly international.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, glad that you're here today, Vidi. And we have with us today Nicholas from Talentium. So, Nicholas, how are you today?
I'm very excited to be with you today and happy to talk to you and talk to the people behind the scene.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thanks for being here, Nicholas. Really excited for today and for today's topic. Today's topic, we're talking about how African talents find opportunities, which is very interesting because it's we've had some other guests on the show that have talked about similar topics and how much talent there is in Africa. Really excited to hear what Nicholas has to say. Getting us started, Nicholas, can you go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about your story, your background?
Yes, of course. So I'm based in Mauritius Island. So we are a very small island close to South Africa and Madagascar. And I came here with my family 6 years ago. I come from France. And my wife told me, Nicholas, if we don't quit now for an opportunity elsewhere, we will stay in our country during our life. So I just decided to go somewhere in the world. And so I had some friends in US, in UK, in Israel. And I also had the opportunity to go to Mauritius. And I said, everybody's going in this place I just cited, but nobody's going to Mauritius. So I said, let's go to Mauritius. And this is a perfect getaway to reach Africa. And I think there is not so much startup in Africa. So I'm basically from the web industry. So back in 2015, I arrived in Mauritius, and the startup incubator in Africa was not the common trend. And now 5 years back, I think it's a great move because everybody's talking about startup in Africa, about the incubators in Africa. And we are right into the art of the growth. And I really believe that Africa is the next growth continent. And I'm working on it.
Fantastic. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We can attest to that because based on the guests that we've had, and when we started BizzTalk Africa, I mean, we didn't know what to expect. And every week, Jason and I are blown away by the projects, the people, the drive, and actually the activity. It's amazing. So it's a good move.
And in fact, yes. And in fact, so I created Talentum.Africa. So what it is, it's a matching platform helping African talents willing to work remotely with international companies who are okay to work remotely with talents. So we started before COVID. And now with COVID, it's a booming platform. We have helped hundred of talents from Africa to get a full-time job remotely through our platform. So this is where we are. We are in the booming talents industry in Africa, willing to work remotely.
I love it. And there, like you said, there is a ton of talent in Africa. And I agree with your statement about that Africa is going to be the next, kind of booming center of business. And especially when you see how much of the population is youth, right? Our guest yesterday talked about how 60% of the population in Africa is 25 or younger. And what our experience has been with guests is that they're hungry. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of drive to succeed and to build and to grow. And that's a good combination for future growth. And believe it or not, it just has nothing to do with the topic. Vidya, we're coming up on 1 year of BizzTalk Africa.
I know.
And I
Where
know.
did it
Where'd the time go? So anyway, okay. So Nicholas, tell us. I love what your platform is doing, and remind us how long have you been doing that for? How long has it been since you founded Talentium?
So we founded Talentium.com with my partner John in 2017. We started with nothing, and we started with 1-2 people, and then we are more than 200 people now working full-time for people all over the world. And in our database, we have more than 10,000 African talents, which are registered.
10,000.
I've been going through your website as you were talking and going through. I mean, like I've put in a recruitment. It's easy to use. It's nice. You know, I could see what you've got in there. And I have some great questions for you. I noticed that you also have the French part of it. So is it because you're gonna grow it from Africa to also the French continent? Is that your plan?
So basically, we started with the Francophone countries. And that's why we have like 70% of our talents are from Francophone countries in Africa. And also we have a huge database of customers in Switzerland, Belgium, and France. That's why it helped us to start. But of course, we are going to move from the Anglophone part, which is also very big.
And are you finding, sorry, Jason, could we just dive in now?
Oh yeah, let's dive in. I forgot to warn you about Viddy. She's going to have lots of good questions for you. So, and I think you've got some pent up questions anyway. So let's go, Viddy. Let's get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you mentioned that you guys started to have so much momentum during COVID and stuff like that. And yes, you've got a lot of people working. You have a lot of people on your database. Are you also how do you recruit companies, or are companies coming to you?
You know, I'll tell you something, Vidi. In fact, all the business we are doing, we have no salespeople. Only people are coming to us.
I've been looking through your people.
In fact, they are just saying, we have difficulties to recruit in our country. And so we are desperate to find the right talents. So can you help us? So few of them, they are going directly to our platform and our database, and they are digging to find the right talents. Few of them, they are just taking one of our services that we are helping them to find the talents, and we source for them the right talents. So in fact, we have been growing organically. And the next step for the end of year and next year is that we are going to build a team, we are going to raise some fund. So now the proof of concept has been done with millions of dollars of turnover. It works. Now we need to scale and scale fast.
Absolutely. Now you have so many avenues that you could go down, right? You could pretty much outsource because of your client pool. You have AI that could actually start, scraping, jobs from the web and actually matching it with the talent pool you have. So you actually become, like a headhunter in that perspective. You have opportunities when new companies are starting up, and you could pretty much, before they need to recruit people, you're going to be like, I know what type of company you have, the other company, other clients. This is the sort of client pool. Because the thing is, right, there's such a disconnect. If you look at a new startup, you're basically, you have funds, but you have to sell, and you're hitting the ground running, and you hire people as and when you need them, which is not always the best way, because the whole recruitment process could be very long winding. You don't have job specs. It's as difficult as raising capital. You can't grow your business without the right talent. So you have so many different avenues. And as you said, you're going to raise capital and take to the next step. So without giving us, your strategy as such, what are the 3 golden things that you want to do as a next step for your company?
Well, in fact, there is the 3 next steps are the following. Then, first, we need to invest more in the technology in order to build an ecosystem of the future of work, which means giving all the tools to African talents to work remotely, and all the tools to companies to help them work remotely. And so for now, we are only a platform of matching and sourcing talents. But on top of it, so we are going to invest in the technology to give the tools to each part to work together. On top of it, in Africa, we have great talent who are going out of university, but they lack employability. So what we need is we need to give them a 3 months boot camp or 3 months training based on the future of the job of tomorrow. And this is what we see based on what we understand from the market is they don't like to take people who are juniors. They want people senior or with an expertise. And what we want is we want to advise talents from Africa how to be better employed or to find themselves their company. So by perhaps giving them a directory of who are the best online training to do to get a job online. So this is what we want to do. So from a matching platform, we need to be an ecosystem of services for the future of work. So that's one pillar. Second pillar is we need to build a team to grow. So we need to have a VP of growth. We need to have someone in charge of the training. We need to build a team like all the startups which are growing. And third, we need to open other countries in Africa. So for now, we are based in Mauritius, Madagascar, Morocco, but we have talents in 17 countries, but we are not physically in these countries. So little by little, we are going to scale and open more African countries.
Right.
Fantastic. The point you had in terms of training is so critical. You know, because nobody teach you in school how to do minutes for a meeting. You know, there's simple things that, young people are coming into jobs and, they have this, you get job description, you think that's what you're going to do. Really, you're going to have to make tips. You're going to have to get lunch. You're going to have to, take minutes and do things, which, you need training not only to how to do the job, but all the other bits and pieces of office life.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and I have a great story I want to share with you, Jason and Vidi. Is one of our talents based in Cameroon called us like 3 months ago. And he said, Nicholas, I'm an accountant, but I'm not earning well my life. I'm not well paid in the accounting firm in Cameroon. I want to work remotely with an international companies. Can you help me? And I said, okay, I will help you. I just checked his resume and I said, you are very good in mathematics and you are an accountant. You should do this data scientist free online course. And after this 3 weeks online course, I will introduce you to one of my clients from US. He did exactly what I said. And 1 month after, he get hired by this US customer. He's now a data analyst for a big IT company. And he has double. So this is a great story about how to advise people because he doesn't know exactly how to reach people outside Africa and how to change the resume he got and also the small expertise. He has everything. He just lacks the good work and perhaps the 3 weeks training.
Doubled his salary. That's huge. In such a short amount of time too. You said he did the 3 weeks course and then, essentially a week later. So a month from when he talked to you, he was hired, doubled his salary, doing something totally new, which I have to imagine that he probably found it very interesting as well, right?
Yeah, and we have the opportunity also that he's still learning with this company. So in fact, the company has bet on him because he said he's good in mathematics, he master Excel, and he knows when we talk about data analysts. So you just need to understand a little bit the market to have the right keywords. And when you do the interview in front of the company, they just are looking fast learner because now our customer, they are mainly new company and they want people fast learner. They need smart people. and agile, and they're going to be trained by the company. So that's why we call the future of the job of tomorrow. And so we are betting into that. And I think there is a huge pool of talent in Africa, and we need to understand how to help them to go to the next step.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. Now I have a quick question, and this I don't know where this is going to take us, but is the primary goal to help African talent find opportunities outside of Africa, or is the primary focus to find other opportunities within Africa?
Well, mainly what we do, for example, we have earned the migration challenge. It means our goal is to help African talents to find a job in Africa in order that they keep the wealth in their country,
Right.
that they build the middle class. So this is our goal. Now, so this is our goal, and to help them get their income in their country. Now, we have few African company, but they are still international company who are settled in Africa, and they are hiring locally. So, but it's not the main of our activities, but we help these companies because we are doing the compliance. So what people are looking for is, if they are working with Africa, they just need to be sure of who to hire and with who. So that's why our platform is doing also the compliance to help these international companies in Africa to hire people. And
Okay.
it's not remote job, but it's local job.
Okay.
But the
Excellent.
world is gonna move back from remote a bit, but I think some of the more tasks that don't need to be done in an office with other people will probably start being outsourced or continue to stay remote. So I think, it's a real good thing that you're doing there as well, because without that training aspect, you can't continue to make sure that talent continues to sort of be trained to be operationally best for business. So I like where you're going with Pillar 2 in terms of the transition for your company, but also you're seeing that the continued development and having that as a service to companies is critical, because that's another market in its own. You place the client once, but you have to continue developing them as well. And that's really interesting.
Very,
Yes,
very
yes.
interesting. I love that. I have another question, and then I'll turn it back over to Vidi, because I know that Vidi has more questions. But this is a question that I like to ask our guests when we're talking about these kinds of things. I love what you're doing. I love where you want to go with it. What are your biggest challenges that you're facing in trying to get there?
The biggest challenge is currently we're in the war of talents. It's how to find the right talents for our customer. So we are working with the technology and also with our sourcing team how to find more and more talents. Will it be possible to find the talents our customer are asking for, or do we need to train the next talents of tomorrow? So currently the challenge is do we need to do both, to train the talents and to provide them to our customer, or do we need to find in other countries that we have not looked for in Africa our talents? So currently this is a war of talents, even in Africa, if we have a huge population, but it's difficult to find the right talents and it takes time. This is our biggest challenge.
Okay.
It's a real hard one, right? To think about training talents, because the world moves so fast, demand moves as fast, and then job changes, right? So to be able to be adaptable, to train for jobs, that's a real tough one, right? But on that point, though, just adding to what Jason asked, surely with remote being the goal here, and we have found that people could barely stay online long enough to actually have one of these sessions. How is like the lack of network services or a steady network affecting that talent pool?
Yeah, so it's a very good question, Vidi. So what we see is also why customers are coming to us is we have knowledge of working with African talents remotely since 4 years now. And so what we do, if people are not working from a co-working space, where we propose our customer to buy a co-working space to our talents. It's we need to help them in their remote work. Do they have a special room where to work? Do they have a good connection? How much does it cost a good connection based on your country? Do you have, we call that an ondular. If you have a power cut, can you keep the power during 1 hour? So you need to have this. So when we work with a talent, we are going to provide him the right the right set framework he needs to work with us. So, and this is what we provide also the guarantee to our clients that we are helping you also to source, but also to give the right tools to your contractor through us, because in Africa, this is different than in Europe or in US. So in Africa, electricity costs very expensive, internet is very expensive. So sometimes 20% of your costs, it could be just to provide him a good framework if you want them to work from home. If there is co-working space close to their home, we can provide you a co-working space. So this is a good question, but this is also what we provide at Talenteum. This is services of working from home or from a co-working space.
That is a fabulous service. So to people who are looking at this program, I think you should feel that level of confidence, and not only in terms of getting really good talent, but looking at it from a logistical perspective as well, and ensuring that people have the tools as necessary to deliver on those jobs, not just the training, but actually be able to deliver on it. That's a real good way of looking at things, a real holistic way of delivering a good service to clients.
Exactly. And for example, we are currently working with a big IT company. They are already working with freelancers based in Africa, but they want to work with us just to control all their home office framework and how they work.
Makes
so we are
sense.
just going to call them, just see the internet speed. Do they have a good laptop? What is the processor? Do they have a double screen? Yes or not? How much does it cost to have a double screen? So we are also providing these services because to work remotely in Africa, you need to have some knowledge about which country they are, what are the issues, because in each country we have a lot of power cuts and so on. So we are also the knowledge to help people in this area.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. I have another question. You talked about being able to match talent to opportunities. What kinds of talents are you finding predominantly in the talents that come to you, right, that want to use your platform? Where is there a gap between those talents and the majority of opportunities? Is there is there a particular skill set that is missing? If you understand what I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, so mainly, let's say that 50% is web and IT. So this is the people we are looking for already working remotely, and companies are just always asking engineers, web developers, and everything which is related to web and IT. Then we also have a part of it. It's everything about back office, sales and marketing. Everything which could be done remotely by phone or by chat or SMS. This is this part. And 15% you have designer, video editor, you have architect. And recently we had some doctors. So a big health startup, they need some doctors just to control a few things and to help the AI for deep learning. So they had some difficulties to find in their country doctors. So, and they took some doctors based in Benin, and they were free in Benin, and they are working just to provide some knowledge and expertise to the technology of one of our customers.
Excellent.
Fabulous.
Excellent.
And it sort of opens up your mind on where you can go with this. I think, like Nicholas, I know Jason is gonna say that sentence that I don't like. We're going to be running out of time anytime soon. But before we really need to have you back on, because there's some topics that we can't go as deep as we should go into. And I think in terms of sort of following what not only what you have next, but I think what you need to give like a 101 to people who are looking at this, how to contact you, how do you go about doing this process and stuff like that, and walk us through what that look like, walk us through what our training process could look like, and we at BizzTalk would love to help you help support that. And obviously I think like our viewers are out there thinking, you know what, the unfortunate thing is that everyone thinks they need to be a startup to make money. What you need to think about always, and this is to our viewers out there are companies looking for your talent. Not everything is a startup, because with a startup obviously comes its own inherent risks. Not everyone is going to be able to find Nicholas, like what you did, right? You started something and it just so happens that luck was on your side. You had COVID, whatever, but it doesn't mean that somebody could just recreate that. I think we need to get into a state of mind that not everybody can be an entrepreneur, because the market is just saturated and it doesn't work like that, because you're still stuck by demand. And now jobs are out there and looking for good people, and you can actually double your salary like that, gentlemen. But you just need to find what fits for you. The startup world is not always easy. There's a risk, there's pressure, there's home life, there's all sorts of things. But there's some good jobs out there.
Yes, agree with you.
Absolutely. And Vinny is right. We are actually coming up at the end of our time. We have about 2 minutes left. And I know. We actually have another show right after this, so we have to wrap things up. But Nicholas, if you could maybe just another minute or so, leave us with your closing thoughts and also the best way for people to get in touch with you. For instance, a lot of our audience is young talent in Africa. And I'm sure that they're listening to this and wondering, what's the best way to get in touch with you and maybe double my salary in a month? So back over to you, closing thoughts and how to get in touch.
Yeah, I will say to talents that they need to open their mind about what's going on in Europe, in US. You need to master the keywords of the company you are targeting, and you need to learn by yourself. You need to listen to TEDx. You need to listen to people talk in these countries where you are not, because people are also buying an expertise and some fast learner people. So First of all, this is the advice. And then I will just invite everybody to register for free in our platform. So it's talenteum.com, TALETEUM.com, talenteum.africa. And it just creates your career space.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nicholas. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And I love this topic. Like Vinny said earlier, I love this topic. We'll have to have you on again because there's so much more to discuss and with this very important topic. So
I would like to propose, before you go, Nicholas, I'd like to propose, Jason, if not next week, I know we have just a couple of sessions before we close off before the end of this year, but I would like to have an end of year session that is, when you have the conversation, make or buy, work or start, or startup. And I think we have a panel. We have Nicholas. We have people, who've done startups and have been successful or fail or whatever. And we just have a good discussion about what that looks like, because 2022 is going to bring some serious changes in the market. Facebook is no longer Facebook, it's Meta. Who thought that would happen? The next generation of the internet is coming. The world as we know it is changing. There are things bubbling up. 2022 is going to be tremendous. And people have decisions. Your next year decisions are not like where you should be going on holiday. It's, what? Life is short and sweet. What are we going to do?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, Nicholas, let's reach out. Let's touch base and let's figure that out together. I like that idea, Vinny. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Once again,
bye.
Thank you, Nicholas.
One tribe, everybody.
One tribe. Till next time. Take care.